All across this planet, there are millions upon millions of people who are facing struggles, emotional, mental, or physical. However, there are also millions upon millions of people who are fighting to overcome and have. Todd Young is one of those people. He is an IT manager, a husband, holds a Bachelors and Masters Degree, and spent 25 years in prison.
The person you see sitting before you is not the person who went into prison. There's been a lot of change, a lot of transformation, a lot of learning. I was extremely angry and I was very violent and I acted out often and I hurt a lot. So when I received the sentence of 25 years to life for the crime of second-degree murder, suffice it to say I killed somebody who was very close to me, very close. So it was even harder. My father, he was the old school kind of old-fashioned guy, worked with his hands, old school values, basically believed that if you were a man, you could do whatever you want. Nobody could tell you anything. My mother was, she didn't finish high school, but even though she was very bright, very, very smart lady, she never finished high school. So she didn't really work. So she was like a stay-at-home mom up until my parents got divorced at 11. Then she had no choice. She had to go into the workforce. So it was kind of weird, the whole dynamic of her having never worked before, then being forced to work, my grandparents coming to live with us, so that kind of changed things up a lot in the house person. My mother's the type that if there's an emotional discussion going on, you sweep the emotions under the rug and then you have something to eat. After my parents got divorced, things kind of fell apart and I ended up, you know, on the street, wrong people, drug usage, that kind of thing, getting into the wrong side of town, so to speak. And then I kind of fell away from the schooling, even though I was still smart. I just stopped going. I ended up graduating high school, but I barely made that, and I was never the same after that. Well, when I was on Rikers Island, I was there for 2.5 years waiting for trial. I think you kind of put it out of your mind as much as you can, and think that, oh well, it's not going to happen around that. You know, you're 23 years old, and they're telling you that you're going to spend at least 25 years in there, maybe life. Indeterminate sentence. So there's a minimum and a maximum. So when he said, you know, you will serve a sentence of no less than 25 years, then he says no more than term. So I remember thinking, how can you serve more than that? And truthfully, I didn't think that I would live to see the end of prison. Okay. The first week was you try to figure out what it is you have to do and what you shouldn't be doing. So you try to get a handle on the rules. The rules that the authorities have and then the rules that your fellow prisoners have. There's a code for each, so you try to figure that out in the beginning. Let's see, valedictorian, to me it wasn't about grades. It was about validating that I had some kind of worth as a person. You know, because you're in that place for so many years and you hear all these labels that people use to describe you, and on some level I think you buy into it a little bit. You start to think like, well, they must be right. I mean, you know, look where I am. You know, you just look around, you see who's surrounding you, right? All the dregs of society. But that day when I gave the valedictorian speech, and I was like my wife says, at that time, I was a man in prison, but there was no prison in the man. No matter what label somebody puts on you, it's up to you whether to wear it or not. Okay, your label is then you choose your own label. And you can call yourself a valedictorian, you can call yourself a 4.0 student, you can call yourself anything, and you can succeed. And don't worry about disappointing others, worry about disappointing yourself, because that's the one that matters most, is yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with you. You have to look in the mirror and be okay with what you see. So it doesn't matter where you've been or what they've said about you. There's always a second chance. There's always redemption. You know why? They call it tomorrow. There's always a second chance. You got another one tomorrow.